Stu, Bolton Wanderers at home, eagerly awaited clash. Got absolutely destroyed in the first game down there earlier in the season. Mike Williams got done by a video nasty, I seem to remember. Not as bad as this video,
No, not quite.
That's me stab at humour for this one. Colaccini got sent off as well. Everything that could have went wrong did go wrong.
It was a bad day, wasn't it? And it was almost a turning point, though, wasn't it, pre-Christmas? It made them realise that the good start of the season wasn't quite enough, and they started to dig in, if they did have to realise that. And to be fair, ever since that match, things have been looking up, I suppose, on the pitch, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously one of Chris Hughton's sort of final games. Alan Pardew come in, turned round, and this week we've been lucky enough to go down the training ground and have a look at some of the changes he's made. A lot of it's a little bit like Sam Allardyce without the ugly football.
Yeah, and it seems to be working on the pitch. Certainly at Birmingham, they showed all the steel, but with a fair bit of flair in there as well, I thought. But they're going to have to do that against Bolton again, because although they're missing a few players, but Bolton are a very hard team to play against.
I mean, Kevin Nolan last time at Bolton, a lot of the players they were so despondent after the game, as you can imagine, and a lot of them didn't want to talk. But I mean, Kevin Nolan was catching up with people at the same time, but you could tell on that day how gutted he was when he was walking out of the Reebok Stadium, and I think he's probably been building himself up for this one for quite some time, and he's going to be a key player.
That's right, and he's due a goal as well.
Yeah.
You'd like to think at home maybe he can get in the box a little bit more. He doesn't have to do as much of his defensive duties, especially now Toyota is back to cover a lot of the ground. He can focus on getting into some crosses, which hopefully they can keep putting in the box like they did at Birmingham.
I mean, I think with Kevin Nolan, I think a lot of his work kind of goes sort of unheralded. I mean, I was looking at some sort of still images of the Blackburn game and the amount of tackles where he's like throwing himself in and stuff like that. It's things you might not sort of notice when you watch when the game's passing by so quickly, but he does get a hell of a lot of tackles in there, and against Bolton Wanderers side who've got the likes of Kevin Davies in there, that's going to be pretty important, I would say.
Oh, definitely. We're going to have to battle for every ball. I still think his best position is playing just off a front man, a big front man, and it'll be interesting to see when Ben Arthur or Stephen Howland are back available to Alan Pardew, whether he pushes Nolan up front and brings Bolton back through the middle. But you can't knock Nolan's work rate at all. He's been fantastic all season. Yeah,
and obviously Leon Best as well coming into this in a bit of form as well. 5 goals and 7 starts. It isn't a bad return for the lad.
No, I think we said last time that he does miss many chances. Just hasn't been getting many chances to take, really, has he? And again, he showed that against Birmingham. So I think it's vitally important that they just keep putting those crosses in against Bolton, and eventually, especially because they're missing some key centre halves, eventually he's going to get one, which hopefully he can stick in.
And I think overall, since Andy Carroll left the team back in sort of January there, I mean, he hasn't played for Liverpool, but since he's gone in the aftermath, the response has been reasonably positive, apart from a couple of little moans and groans.
Well, exactly. They had Fulham directly afterwards, didn't they, where the players seemed to be a bit despondent. Certainly reflected in the performance, I thought. But after that, certainly the games of Blackburn and Birmingham, they've really dug in. Showed the team spirit, similar to when Chris Hughton got sacked, I think, and the players really showed a bit of unity to keep what they've achieved, keep it going.
Spot on.